Welcome to Math 150 Stats for Life Sciences. This is your introduction to Positcloud. This is going to be the tool that we use for all of our labs. There are 6 of them as of this semester. That number can change. So, but for spring of 2026, we have 6 labs that are required for this course. So let's just get into this because this is kind of a long introduction here. The first thing I want you to do is go to a fresh tab in your browser and go to https://posit.cloud. So posit.cloud is the URL. You will see a window like this. Click on Get Started, and you're going to be creating a cloud-free account. Click Sign Up. Enter your UNE email up here at the top, your @une.edu email address, create a password, and then put your first and last name and click Sign Up. Once you do that, you should see a window that looks like this. So this is kind of a blank workspace in Positcloud. So right now we have no content. All right, so let's remedy that. Back in your Math 150 course, this is in Brightspace now. I want you to open the syllabus. And in the syllabus, I want you to scroll all the way down to the last page of the syllabus that talks about labs. You can also find this link in week 1, in the week 1 module under lab 1. You'll see this link here. So this link is going to take us to all of our Positcloud content that we're going to be using. But uh, it's also going to create some content in your Positcloud account. So I'm trying to, let's see, can I right click? I want to copy the link address. Copy the link address, and I'm going to go over here into this window, and I'm going to paste it. So posit.cloud/content/ and the ID of the labs folder that we're going to be using, or the labs project, is 9501258. So just hit enter. And lo and behold, it recognizes that I'm actually logged in to posit.cloud, and it's going to create a project for me. So it's actually giving me a project bar or a timing bar, and it's actually creating it for me. And you'll notice in the red at the top, it says temporary copy. So once that's created, I now have this workspace in front of me that looks very different from that other screen that I had. So before I do anything, I'm going to click on Save a Permanent Copy because that's going to make this project mine. Any changes that I make here, anything that I do in the console at the left or whatever, anything that I do is just my own and no one else will see any of this. So you don't have to worry about like, oh my gosh, am I accidentally changing Professor Rudis's stuff? Nope. This is just my own personal copy now. That navigation window pane on the left disappeared, but you can reappear it or disappear it anytime by clicking on the 3 bars that you see in the upper left corner. Your name should appear in the upper right as this is the account person who is logged in. And there's like different little things that you can see. But let's go over what you're seeing here in the window really quickly. start with the left. On the left-hand side, this is actually called the console. So this is your programming console. Um, at the left, you see a kind of a little directional here, like an arrow pointing, and and a blinking cursor. So when you see that arrow, that is um, that is a prompt. So you see the arrow prompt and the blinking cursor. That tells me that it's ready to receive an instruction or a command. So one of the commands you can always type in is help, and that will bring you to the help tab over here on the right. And that works like an encyclopedia. You can actually do a search for a topic or whatever, and you can actually get all of the documentation that is available for the R programming language. But what that did was it bumped you over to the help tab. If you want to go back to the files, we have to click on the files tab at the top there. Here's your project directory. All of these folders show you your 6 labs and anything else that I might have added in there. The only 2 tabs that are really going to be necessary are the Files tab and the Plots tab. The Plots tab is where you actually will see a graph. So I can, for example, you will learn how to do this. You will learn how to do a plot. Um, I'm just typing plot empty cars and then hitting enter, and that um, you have no idea what that is, but that is a plot that just got produced. If I wanted to save that plot, I can go to export and save it as an image. And I'm just going to call it empty cars plot. That's next to file name that you see here. And then there's an image format. You can do PNG, you can do JPEG. It's up to you. And so that's going to save into your files directory. When I go over here, there's my empty cars plot that I see. Okay. Um, Next, so again, this is primarily where most of your work is going to be done right here in this copy of the labs folder, because this is where most of our work is done. Um, any data that you load or anything like that is going to appear up here in your environment. So before you do lab 1, you're going to want to actually click on that folder, and you're going to want to open the HTML file that you see here and view it in a web browser, because that's where um, it'll be the easiest to read if you actually view it in the web browser. So this is the complete instructions for lab 1. All of the R commands that you need are actually provided for you there. They appear in these grayed out boxes. That's where you see that they're called coding windows or code blocks. So these grayed out blocks here are called code blocks, and that's where your R code appears. And that literally is just code. So this word that you see here is an actual command that you would literally just type. So if you want to see what happens to that environment, I can copy the source, paste, hit enter, and I can expand this, and you will see there's my data. There's your data file. It's called Arbuthnot. Okay. So you can like minimize or shrink these windows to see more or less of what you're seeing there. Anything that you need to do then will be done in the console here at the left. So if it tells you to copy and paste a command, that's where you're going to be putting it into the console. Um, the only other thing that I really wanted to mention is I've made a few changes to what is required in your lab report. So I want to go over that really quickly. This is just a Word doc. So open either a Word doc or Google Docs or something that you can actually type your lab report into. Line one is going to be your name, the course name with the section number, University of New England, and then the term is spring 2026 or whatever the current term is. So your name, the course ID, section number, University of New England, and then the whether it's fall or spring and the year. And then the line below that is going to have the lab title and the date. And then I want you to type one or two sentences of what the purpose or the goal of the lab is. You will find information on that in the lab directions itself. What to include? Number one, I want you to make sure that you have typed any questions or exercises that are part of the lab. So those were very distinctive. You will see like it's literally numbered exercise one, exercise two, or exercise three on down. So so you will literally type that in and then you're going to answer it. So type the question or the exercise, insert your response, and then make sure to include any supporting evidence or calculations that you needed in order to answer the question. So you don't need to show me your R code, but I do need to see like any supporting data that you used to answer that question. Below your three exercises for lab one, you're going to insert any plots or graphs or charts that you produced during the lab. Um, I just want you to include any plots that you made because the plots were necessary in order to answer some of the questions. Underneath each plot, I want you to include a short description of it. So don't just insert a file or a picture and leave it go. Um, to get full credit, you need to tell me what that is a plot of. So give me a description of it. And then the last thing that you're going to be doing is answering the four reflection questions. So for that, we need to go back to our syllabus. The syllabus, that last page of the syllabus that explained the about labs thing, when you go all the way down to the bottom, there are four numbered questions here. One, two, three, four. Those are called reflection questions. And I want you to answer all four of those in your lab report at the bottom. So the exercises with your answers and supporting evidence, any plots or graphs, and then the four reflection questions. That's everything that you need for your lab report. Once you have that all typed up and it's nice and neat and tidy, you're going to be uploading it into Brightspace as an attachment to the lab activity itself. So to access that, we would just, you would find it under course home. If we go to topic one, um, here's the lab one intro to R. And there's an area there for the submission. Okay. So once you're done, you're going to be submitting it. All right. And then YouTube, my Easy Math TV channel has a playlist for all of my lab walkthroughs. You will find them helpful as well. So like, subscribe, comment down below. Um, I think you'll find these videos helpful with getting you started with the labs in Positcloud and your introduction to R.